Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Captain America Sentinel of Liberty, issue number 5. It's a good book. I mean, I've heard so many bad things about this comic book going into this comic book. Not just this issue. I'm talking like before issue 1 even dropped. People talking about, I read this about where the story's going to go and that where the story's going to go, and I don't think I'm going to like it. And I was thinking, yeah, I don't think I would like that either. I don't think I'm going to like this, but it's Captain America. I'm going to give it a shot, you know? And I'm glad I have, because despite all the negative naysayer type, early pre-reviews, I'm really glad that I read this. It's because it's not like the perfect series, but it's a really good series. Look, it's like a spy thriller that's not really getting that major love. It's not quite like Winter Soldier, but what I will, the Winter Soldier movie, but it's close enough. You could see that it's definitely trying to follow that sort of a pattern of logic, right? Really good stuff here. Guys, let's talk about who made this comic book. We'll talk a little bit about the book itself. Let's try and make this a short review for once. Remember when I used to do those? Writers, Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly. Artists, Carmen Carnero. Letters, VC's Joe Caramagna. And then back to artists again. The color artist is Nolan Woodard. Amazing color artist. Carmen Carnero and Alejandro Sanchez doing the cover art, and a variant cover by Paco Medina, Jesus Avertov. Another one by NetEase. NetEase or NetEase? Whatever. Anyway. And Joe Simon and Jack Kirby are responsible for the creation of the great Captain of Frickin' America, and Bucky for that matter. Just quick side note, I just actually decided to look up a picture of Carmen Carnero. Oh my God, am I wrong? Is this woman like incredibly freaking hot? Like smoking beyond belief? I look at this like, oh my God, wow, hi, how you doing? Sheesh. Anyway, I'm married, so none of that crap matters, right? So let's get talking about the book itself. First off, the art. Freaking amazing art as usual. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because it's Carmen Carnero. Duh. Of course it's beautiful. Yeah, wow. Things happen in this comic book. A lot of things, like little things happen, like Captain America standing in front of Bucky, trying to get him to not shoot somebody. And you see like just the detail around it. The shield is on the ground, the background. There's stuff going on in the background, but even though there's more detail on the background than the characters that are almost in silhouette, and sometimes they actually are, the characters are clearly still what matters. And I know the colors have a lot to do with that, but when you have a team like this of Carnero and Woodard, holy crap, you can't beat this. Like, I want to see more comic books made by these two. Just like, okay, I'm finished drawing this, the lines and the inks for this. Tag me out, and Woodard's like, oh, there you go, get back in. Let me take on this one. And it's just, wow, these two are amazing with their art. As far as the story itself, it's funny how you can get so much in a story, and in the end, sometimes I feel like at first, that's it? That's where this stops? And I stop for a minute and I feel like, am I unfulfilled? Yeah, kind of, sort of, I really am. But then I stop and think about it for a second. It's not because there wasn't any action or any story or mystery or all the things that are supposed to go inside of a comic book. No, it's that I just wanted more. I'm telling you, some of you guys are holding off and going to read this in trade paperback. I'm a little bit envious, just a little bit, because getting this once a month and just, oh, well, yeah, you got another story and you read it and you're like fawning over all the pages and you get to the end and it's like, wait, that's it? I need more, but there is no more. There is no more. I would like to have a good 6 issues under my belt so I can say, yay, this was a really good story, right? If next issue, because usually it's every 6 issues for a story arc, if they're actually going to end the story arc in the next issue, then this comic book gives me a good idea of where it will go, which means that it's a good likelihood of where it could go. I'm really intrigued by what's about to happen next. I don't want to give away too much. I don't want to give away any spoilers if I possibly can, but man, I sat and I read this comic book, and even though you can kind of, it's one of those things where afterwards you're like, no, I saw the warning signs, I just didn't pay attention. You know what I'm saying? It's like passing the speed limit sign on the road 6 times and just passes by, you're like, wait, what was that speed limit again? And you're not going to like go back and look at it. You're like, there'll be another one a mile or 6 ahead of the road. I'm good. Like, that's what I felt like in this, It's like there's so much here, and I feel like I'm missing some things, but I'm infatuated by everything that I'm getting in this comic book. Really good story so far, right? It's kind of a slow pace when you think about it, especially like the previous issue, kind of a slow pace, but then you realize why it was like that, and suddenly it's just heavy hitting. This was action the whole time, but much like the idea of 1,000 bullets, coming across the screen, and oh my God, they're shooting up everything, the entire neighborhood. You can only do that for a short while before it's like, this is boring. There's got to be something else in there, right? In this particular case, there was certainly some machine gun fire, but it was in between a lot of small arms fire. And I really enjoyed the pacing of the comic book. The theme of the comic book, massive action. Until the end, that's when there was dialogue. That's when you were kind of sitting forward in your seats a little bit. This is one of those things where you say, this should be a movie. Would they make it better than this? Maybe. Would they make it worse than this? Likely. I don't know, but this is the kind of ending that you expect to see in a movie. And as I've tried to tell people for a long time, whenever they're writing something, when I used to do editing, I said to them, make sure that you're writing this not as a comic book, because that's what I did editing for a comic book company that never actually went into existence, but it is what it is. It's not my fault. It's a financing thing. I wasn't a backer. So you're writing a comic book, but don't write a comic book. Your work is going to go into a comic book, but what I want you to do is write as a screenplay. And this is the same thing that a lot of editors will tell you for novels, right? Or for, I don't know how easy it is to do it for nonfiction, but I imagine you could if you made it like Neil deGrasse Tyson's Cosmos and stuff like that, which is actually just a really awesome ripoff of the previous Cosmos. What the heck was that? Why do I always forget names? Why do names always elude me? Anyway, his mentor and hero for the most part. Good stuff. I like the idea that the book had this sense about it of scene change, right? Even though it was all based in the same thing. Steve was making allies, making friends. You get to see that blonde hair, blue-eyed smile, right? The rosy cheeks of, the good old boy, the son of immigrants coming to the nation, and just boom, he becomes the embodiment of what Captain America is, right? The whole ideology is based around him and his personality, his ability to lead others, to change people's minds for the better. Really brilliant work on writing a Captain America story. These two writers, they get it. They genuinely get what it means to write a Captain America story, because I feel that for the most part, for the far greater portion of this, they understand who and what Captain America actually is. And that's just irreplaceable. I don't know who these guys are outside of these 5 issues of them that I've read. But from what I've read, yeah, they're home. They are home writing for comic books. They are home writing for Captain America. Please don't change that. I'll talk to you guys later. Like the video, watch an ad. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.